Hey everybody, it is 8:01 and it's Friday night, so you know what that means. It's another episode of the Redox 5. So, of course, I'm Dr. Maureen Hayes coming to you from Galveston, Texas, and I'm joined by the regulars, Jim and Ann Glenn from San Antonio, Texas. As you know, Jim is our big money man and Ann is our beautiful personal trainer and nutritionist. And of course, we have the highly esteemed Dr. Lee Osler from Washington State, an incredible dentist and the author of several books now, all on redox. So if you need something so that you have a better understanding of redox or you want to share it with somebody else, he's got you covered. You can go to redoxmatters.com, and usually we're holding up a book so you can see what we're talking about. So you'll be hearing a little bit more from Dr. Lee. So tonight we have a fan favorite. You know, she's everywhere these days because she is just such a phenom and we just love her so much. She is from Texas, so we're going to claim her from here. She has an incredible story. You all know her. If you've been in a SIA for any time, you know she's our business builder of the year. She's on the medical board with Dr. Lee and myself. She is a midwife who has birthed over 1,000 babies. I can't even imagine. And she has an incredible story to share and an incredible testimonial, not just for what these products do, but for what this company can do for you as well. So she just totally embodies the ethos and the spirit of this company, and she's out to make, be a force for good in the world and better people's lives. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Donnellyn Dominguez. Donnellyn, come on and share with us. Please, for the people who don't know you or might be seeing this for the first time, tell us a little bit about how you got introduced to this and how Jim harangued you until you took it. We always talk about it. And, what you realized being on this product. So take it away, Donnellyn.
Thank you, Maureen and Lee and Ann and Jim. I always love getting to come on here. This feels like family. Jim and I did some of these before he had his famous Redox 5, and so it's coming home. And I'm going to make this really short. So if you need the whole testimony, it's on number 13 in Real Redox Results under Skeptic, because that's what I was. I had an issue that began in 2015. I had surgery. In 16, I had a very harsh chemical treatment and another surgery in 17. And by the time I got to this, my nutritionist had given me a bottle of Redox and signed me up for a case and a tube a month. But I was really close to the edge for that entire time that I was looking for something that would work. And it included going through $20,000 worth of alternatives after the chemical treatments almost killed me. So by the time she gave me this, I was very despondent and negative and in a lot of discomfort and didn't have any energy because of the damage that had been done by chemicals. And so I didn't ask a lot of questions. I just took it. She said it'd make me feel good. I went, yeah. She was already giving me a lot of supplements. So I took it home, the bottle she gave me. And when I got home and tasted it, I decided she had totally scammed me, that this had to be something crooked because it tasted like a swimming pool. And I was negative anyway. I've admitted that, in a very bad, dark place. And so I just put it down when I'm not drinking that stuff. I don't even know what it is. It tastes like swimming pool. And she was trying to reach out to me and explain. And Jim was one of the people who had helped her find the molecules. And he was trying to reach out and explain. And I was still working full time. I felt terrible. But when you own the business, you keep working. So I was working full time. I had to go to bed at 6:30 at night because that's what time the drugs wore off that replaced the cortisol that I no longer made because I don't have a pituitary gland anymore. So it was just it was all a blur. Everything was. I'd see him deliver another box of that stuff, and I'd go, I need to figure out how to get auto ship and turn that off. But I never felt good. I never had the extra energy. I worked till about 6 and went to bed at 6:30. Got up and did it again the next day, and this was for 16 months. So, bad place. Then I had another surgery in August to correct the other knee, and by December my daddy used to say lower than a snake's belly. I really did not feel good, and I wasn't happy, and I was beginning to lose my fight. And for some reason, as many times as I had ignored his text and calls and emails, on December 4th in 2017, I answered the phone. And he asked me how I was doing, and I told the truth. That's another mystery to me. I said, I'm not doing well. And he said, are you drinking the Redox? I went, no, I am not drinking that stuff. I don't know what it is. It tastes like a swimming pool, and I'm not going to drink it. And he said, well, let me send you information. So he did, and he sent basically the things that we use now when we do workshops to educate people. And he told me it's 100% non-toxic. It can't hurt anything. It can only help. And so I said, okay, I don't believe you for a minute, because this sounds too good to be true. So I'm sure it is. And I had tried so many things, guys. That's where that negativity came from. But I said, I'm not gonna talk to anybody. Don't expect me to talk to anybody. I'll drink it because I'm desperate, and I'll let you know. Don't call me, I'll call you, kind of thing. And so, because he said it was non-toxic, I thought, okay, I've got 7 cases that I got to get rid of to prove to him it's not going to work, and then he'll leave me alone. So I'm just going to drink it up. And he said it's non-toxic, so if a little's good, more must be better. So I'll drink more. So I didn't follow directions or instructions. I saw what was on the back of the bottle. It said 2 ounces twice a day. I drank that for a few days, and then I increased and I increased and I increased and I increased, because my goal was to get rid of it. I didn't have any expectation to get well. But in 3 weeks, I was wrapping Christmas presents, and my husband came in and said, do you know what time it is? I went, no. He said, it's 11. I went, you're kidding. He said, no, it's 11. And I said, okay, God, if you're using this stuff to help me get well, thank you, thank you, thank you, but don't tease me. I can't handle getting my hopes up and being disappointed again. And I just couldn't. I was too emotionally low. But I promised, if you're using this to help my body heal, I'll tell everybody, and I'll give you all the credit. So I've been trying to do that now for almost exactly 6 years, because my anniversary was just the other day. And I did. I got better and better. My knee that wouldn't get well got completely well in about 5 weeks after I started. My energy level was good. My 21-year-old student said she couldn't keep up with me. So I was thrilled. And I began to tell everybody about my miracle. I wasn't trying to build a networking business. I did not want a networking business. I had a very busy birth center. I was delivering 6 to 16 babies a month, feeling like I'd been run over by a Mack truck, and just barely getting through and calling extra help in all the time. But now I felt good. I felt like my life had been given back. So I was just so excited. And as I shared, people would go, I want to feel as good as you do. Do you think it would work on whatever they had? And I'd say, I don't know. They say it works on anything with cells. So are there cells involved? Yeah. Well, give it a try. It's guaranteed for the first 30 days. And I was so busy, having just gotten my life back after basically being almost out of the picture, except for what I absolutely had to do for over 2 years. So I was trying to catch up, and I was excited to be back at work. And so when they'd say, well, I want to order, I'd call Jim and hand the client the phone, and they'd talk to him, and he'd help me set them up. And that's the way it went for the first 2 or 3 months. But I mean, we accidentally this is not the way you're supposed to do it. But we accidentally signed up a whole lot of people that way because the product is a miracle in a bottle. It works. And that was the part that surprised me the most. I've been promised the moon by many things over that last 16 months, and nothing helped. Now, it probably was doing something because we know now that this is the missing link. My body was probably trying to respond to all that stuff. But if your cells aren't signaling, nothing else matters. So,
how much were you taking by that time? You said you kept going up and up and up. About how much, when you were feeling really good like this, how much were you taking?
way above the recommended amount. I was probably drinking close to a bottle a day, 28 to 32 ounces. But again, I had 28 bottles and I thought, I'm going to get rid of this as quick as I can and get this crazy guy off my back. So I apologize to you. I'm sorry, what?
I said those boxes are like furniture when they're piled up, extra seating. That's fantastic. So anyway, you were feeling good. Did you apologize to Jim?
I did. I apologize to him every time I tell my story. Don't you lie. Every time I tell my story, because seriously, I mean, I'm so grateful. I know that I would not be here today had he not been persistent and consistent. And that we know that that's the key to building anything, whatever you're doing. Persistence and consistency is what gets it done. And he certainly proved that principle on me. And I am very, very, very grateful. So,
yeah, that's fantastic. But, just so that people don't get the idea that you were hounding her, because there's a difference between being persistent and following up and having a real true concern for the person and wanting to make sure that they get the best possible result and pressuring people. So Jim, do you mind kind of sharing with us, how you followed up with Donnellyn, how what were you, what kind of messages were you leaving?
Yeah, when she first joined, we had a brief conversation. And I knew she was getting ready to have knee surgery. I really don't remember much being said about the bad cell stuff that she had. But now that we've talked about it, I do remember that being brought up. But I just remember them saying that Donnellyn was an amazing person. She's one of the most sought after midwives in Texas and around this whole area, has one of the largest midwifery in Texas. And so when you hear those words that she's special, there's something unique about her, then it was just, then again, I knew about the knee surgery. So I was really trying to follow up to see how her knee was doing. And so it was really the prompting of, the Holy Spirit, as far as I'm concerned, to reach out, a couple more times. But that was just, and with my background being a stockbroker, I did a lot of calling people. And so I was really in that was my habit. If someone is potentially someone that we need to be working with, I'm going to continually try to drip on them or send them a text and try to call them. And so that was really, and she really was not rude or ugly at all. I understood she was scared, and when people are scared, they tend to react a little bit different. But Donnellyn, why were you so negative towards networking? Because you always said, no, I'm not going to do the secret handshake. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Did you have a bad experience early on, or was it just that you were so busy with your practice? Because again, we've been up there multiple times, and you had a huge facility, like a 10,000 square foot, 3 birthing suites that were gorgeous, decked out to the nth degree, that you and Chris did all that work yourself. I mean, that was your home then upstairs. But what was it about that business model that you didn't like?
I did have a brief experience in probably 35 years ago.
Okay.
And with this one company that was out there, and it wasn't anything bad. I mean, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. We spent more money than we ever made. We spun our wheels. We left our kids at home when they were teenagers to go do, meetings, which is why I won't use the word. It's hard to get.
Right.
And yeah, just a lot of negative connotations and, lost friends and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't want anything to do with that again. Now, I have been in many network marketing companies in order to buy the better products at wholesale. And I'd always sign up as an associate to get the best price. But I didn't want to market or build anything ever again. And I did resent people coming in and trying to get me to so that they could get to all my clients, because I had at least 40 girls on the books all the time. So I just felt like everybody was trying to fish in my pond. I didn't appreciate it. I wasn't going to play. So twofold.
Okay. And what was the shift? I mean, obviously when, I had the video, I should have looked for it, but when we were staying upstairs in your apartment, you'd already moved to another house, and you demonstrated going down that very steep stairs.
Yeah.
I should try to find that clipping for you, because you did a retake for us. But why is this one different? I mean, tell the people out there. I mean, we have a lot of people that are skeptical. Why this one? Why now?
I do not blame them, because, like I said before, everything I tried that I was promised was the latest, greatest didn't work. Probably wasn't all the product's fault, but sometimes people just want to sell you something. And I bought everything. I tried everything. I did obnoxious things trying to get my body to heal. And like I said, dark, dark time. And then, so I was so negative by the time I got to this one, I didn't expect it. I said if I had a placebo effect, it would have gone the other way, because what I was expecting was nothing, another failed project. But by the time I started taking it, it was way too late to get my money back. So I was just going to drink it up to keep from wasting it, show you it wouldn't work, get everybody to leave me alone. I felt terrible. I didn't want anything to do with anybody. So it wasn't just you, And I couldn't tell my family how sick I was. So I had to put on an act all day long. And I didn't want to lose my clientele, because nobody wants to be delivered by a midwife that just passed away. So, I was just trying to keep a good face. And so it was a perfect storm as far as you coming into the picture. But I'm so grateful, because what you told me in our conversation is what got me started. And then my stubbornness, but I had integrity. I said I'd drink it, so I was going to drink it. And I said I'd use that gel on my knee, so I used it. But every time I put it on, I thought, this is dumb. It doesn't smell like anything, doesn't feel like anything. We didn't know about 3 times in 5 minutes, so I wasn't doing that. Still hurt all the time. So I was just going through the motions.
Lee, can you go ahead and pop in real quick and go ahead and do the thing we need to do all the time?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's such a pleasure to have Donnellyn on. She and I have gotten really close, and I love her. And, your story, Donnellyn, is one that we all relate to. We all, I think most of us, I'd say probably 99% of us kind of come at this in the same way, wondering why this is being presented to the marketplace like this, when it's, what it is. But what it is a supplement. This isn't a drug. It's not a pharmaceutical. We're not treating, we're not curing anything. And because it's a supplement, we don't make claims. That's why you'll hear us speak a little bit in code talk maybe, but, or just around, because that's not what we're comfortable doing or allowed to do. So we stay compliant, and that's why you will hear this language sometimes, which sounds a little soft or fuzzy. But this is a great company. We've all had our own experiences with it and why this caught our attention, and we're really glad that Jen was able to professionally follow up with you, and out of a genuine concern with courtesy, and check on you, and that whatever your brain damage was at the time, that you were able to see through it and be able to come to these conclusions. If I could, I'd like to ask if you could morph into or segue into talking about your, the other thing that you're known for is your what you call your ladies, your girls.
Girls.
That you worked with obviously hundreds, if not thousands, of these people who were doing a very special task in bearing children, and you have some observations there about what redox signaling was like during all that. Could you maybe just kind of comment about that for us?
Um, yeah, Lee, when I realized that my body was recovering and that this was the missing link, I thought, what else do I have to offer them that's 100% non-toxic and will help their bodies heal from anything that's going on, whether I know it's happening or not? Because pregnancy is very taxing on the human body. It's quite a stressor. You're growing a whole nother human being, and all your organs are being pushed out of the way so that there's room for that baby. And a lot of your nutrition is being taken away from you to nourish the baby. So it's a big job. Giving birth, growing babies is a big job. So I thought, well, I mean, it says it's 100% non-toxic. I have that on the bottle. It also says for pregnant girls not to take it unless they're under the supervision of a physician. Well, I am a baby physician, a mama physician for pregnant women, and that's my training. So I would explain the technology to them and do a small presentation during my childbirth class and tell them I'd talk to them individually if they were interested. And about 25% of the people that I presented to every time decided, yeah, they'd say, of course, why wouldn't I want what's best for me and what's best for my baby? So they would start drinking it, and we just had phenomenal results. I mean, like earth-shattering. It shocked me how good their pregnancies went, their deliveries, and their postpartum period. So I kept really careful records because I kind of felt like I was going out on a limb. Bottle says not to give it to pregnant women, and I'm giving it to pregnant women. But I was watching them very closely, and they did better than anybody. In fact, that group of girls had the best deliveries of all my girls. And I did the same statistics on a group who was not drinking it, and we got some very interesting comparative results. So, yeah, I'm glad that I was courageous enough to do that, because I'm not a risk taker. I'm not a rule breaker, but I kind of went out on a limb with that one. And I'm so, so glad because we got phenomenal results. So.
Well, Donnellyn, really the reason why it says that is because there have not been, until you started using it, there had not been any formal studies on using the product in pregnant women. And so that's one of the reasons the company won't go out on that limb. But you as their medical, anytime a medical professional is following someone, they can have that as part of their protocol or part of their therapy. And that's exactly what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the amazing results you did. I'm going to ask, because there's people who are asking questions, in the chat. And I know that you are so special. And one of the reasons you've been such a gift to the medical board is because you are our midwife. You are a pregnancy expert. Most of us don't, I don't think we have an OBGYN on the board. And that's not my wheelhouse. It's not Dr. Lee's wheelhouse. So we love having you there and having you answer. No, it's not yours, Jim and Ann. But tell me because everybody would love to have access to you. Everybody would love to be able to share your expertise with the people they know and love who are pregnant or trying to get pregnant. But that's just not possible for you to do and build your own business and take care of your own team and your own loved ones. What are some of the questions that come up again and again and again that you would like to address, and maybe have this as a resource for people so that they can get educated and they can share this with other people?
Probably one of the main questions is it safe for pregnant moms? And another reason that any company, every company, doesn't matter how natural the product is. Every company has that statement about pregnant women, because if anything goes wrong with the pregnant woman, it's automatically the fault of, whatever they're taking. So I always tell them, I mean, it's 100% non-toxic. It's an aid to the body. So my opinion is, yes, it's 100% safe because it's 100% non-toxic. But I recommend that people, if they want to take their doctor or their midwife, well, just take the research, take the bottle, take their upline, or their support person that introduced it to them, and go educate him. Ask him for 5 minutes to help him understand what you're taking and why you're taking it. And you hired him. So, you get to educate him. You get to tell him your desires. So that's one of the main questions. Also, which vitamins can I take? Can I take the source for my prenatal? No, I mean, unless you want to take, double, triple the amount. You need specific vitamins that are usually organized in a prenatal. I like a good whole food prenatal that's organic so that it's absorbable, because that's why ours work. They're organic and they're absorbable. You could probably do source, but you'd have to take like triple the recommended amount, and that would be very expensive. So I told my girls to take a specific prenatal vitamin that is organic, is 100% food-based, and then I always recommended the biome and the omegas, because I had girls on probiotic and fish oil when they were pregnant. They need it. It does a lot of good things, and we could have a class and I could teach about that. But this probiotic combination is the best one I have ever found. Practicing 19 years now, it's the best one I've ever found. And I take it myself and love it. And it's one I never miss. It's sitting on my bedside table. I take it before I go to bed every night, and I can tell the difference if I didn't. So I love that one. And we know the omegas are the cleanest out there, and they are the natural source of fish oil. They're not a bunch of chemicals or synthetics that are made into a fish oil that have a great big number. They are the real deal, and actually processed on the side of the boat, so you don't ever get that nasty taste. And I just love them. So those two I put all of my girls on. I don't recommend the Life Max. It's got vitamins in it that are not necessarily recommended for pregnancy, but the probiotic in the biome and the omegas are great. And then get a good prenatal. Another thing that people ask.
And can I stop you real quick? The source won't hurt them, correct? It's just not.
No, it's just not the most economical option.
Gotcha.
They could certainly take it, but you want to have the folate in a high enough amount that it's efficient for pregnancy. And that's an important one, especially in early pregnancy. So I just, for financial, I was always trying to be conservative with my girls. I try to find the best products for the least amount of money, but they could if they wanted to take enough. So, no, it absolutely won't hurt them. The other thing that people ask about often, all the time, is the cell performance. And yes, I know they're fabulous and I love them too. But in pregnancy, you don't know. There are people that are allergic to cinnamon, people that are allergic to lavender, things that are very common. You don't know what a pregnant girl might be allergic to or what her baby might respond negatively to. So I don't recommend that they take any of the cell performance until after they've had the baby. And then if they really want to try something, I always recommend that they take half a pouch in extra water and see if their newborn has any digestive issues, has any signs of discomfort, kind of test it, go slow. And if the baby doesn't, stay up for 10 hours after you drink half a package of energy, well, then maybe you can ease into a whole package. But you just have to be very conscientious with newborns and with pregnant women as far as what they're ingesting and how it might affect them or baby. The last thing I would ever want to do is recommend something that would hurt one of them, you know? So it's just safer to not take them until after you have the baby. So those are probably three of the main questions that I get. And I'm actually I'll put a little plug in, which maybe will make me do it, but I'm going to start doing a little very short video and putting those on a YouTube channel a couple of times a week, just answering basic questions about morning sickness or how much weight you gain and, you know, all of those things to help out and maybe have a place to direct people.
That would be great. And your recommendations also are for breastfeeding mothers to stay away from the CP because it can go through maybe into the breast milk and the
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to try it and you're breastfeeding, just try a little bit in extra water and see if baby responds, because baby is going to get a small amount of it in breast milk. Anything you put in your mouth, baby is going to get. So test the water slowly with lesser amount and see if baby doesn't seem to have any digestion issues or doesn't seem to stay awake too much or sleep too much. You know, you take a mood and don't be taking a mood to knock your baby out. That's not nice. But, you know, you do,
yikes. Yeah. So
you do what you would do just to be cautious and wise. But they have a lot of fabulous herbs and vitamins and things in them that are very good, very natural, but just they're not innate like Redox is. Redox is innate to our cells, but we don't make mood or energy or mind in our cells, you know? So if you sort of look at it that way.
yeah, fantastic. You know, one of the things that you don't often talk about, but maybe you could talk or address your Chris and his situation a little bit, because I think everybody's kind of focused on you and
everybody's heard me until I'm sure they're sick of it, but but I love you all and thank you for listening again. My sweet husband, I got much better the first part of January 18, met Tyler Norton, decided this was the best thing since sliced bread. I loved it. I wanted to help people. Then I got a check after about 3 months. I opened my smart wallet and realized how much they were paying me for talking to people, and I didn't even feel like I was doing anything. So I was a fan then of this company, this model, this business, our leadership, everything. And I began to really try to learn and build. And then in October of that year, my sweet husband came home from one of our meetings. Terry Latham had done a meeting at the birth center, and he said he didn't feel well. He thought he had a flu bug. And I said, well, go home. We don't want it. So he went home, and I finished up there at the birth center, and Austin, my grandson, brought me home. And we pulled in like right behind him, which meant he had to just crawl all the way home. He drove so slow. And I watched him get out of the car and hold on to the wall as he walked in. And I went, that's not the flu. So I grabbed my stethoscope and blood pressure cuff out of the trunk of the car on the way by and went in and took his blood pressure. And it was way far above normal. So we took him to the hospital. And the next day he had a serious condition where we weren't sure he'd ever come out of it. It was an issue with the brain, and the doctor said had it occurred a little lower than it did, he'd be bedridden. But God was with him, and I had been begging him the entire time I was drinking Redox to drink it with me. And he'd say, yeah, I'm going to do that. Or I'd say, did you take your Redox today? Yeah. I mean, I haven't, but I'm about to. So he'd go take some real quick. But he thought that his bad knee would get better. My bad knee got better. Oh, hi, baby. And So that didn't happen right away, like it happened for me. So he kind of was very hit and miss. And so when this happened, and I walked in the next day, and his whole his whole left side had just drooped, and he couldn't talk. I said, okay, ready to listen to me now? And bless his heart, that's his testimony. Guys, listen to your wives. But we started him on, I did it again. I'm sorry, I'm not very compliant. I started him on a bottle a day, and I took it to the hospital. We went to rehab. We were in rehab for 5 weeks, and he drank a bottle a day every day. And I didn't ask permission. I took it in and put it in his big cup, and so I stayed with him a lot of that time. Doctor said he would not walk for 6 months to a year if he ever walked again. But Chris is a fighter. He really is a fighter. And he walked out of that hospital 5 weeks later. Well, it was actually 2 rehabs, but the second one he walked out of 5 weeks. So.
And he's done extremely well. So he was not on or not taking it consistently before it happened, but afterwards. Wow.
Very sporadically and very little. He was kind of saving it for me. It was my deal, But
I'm going to drink
when
more.
he started drinking a lot, he started getting great results. And he's still in PT, and they don't do PT for anybody that's not improving, because he's evaluated every 6 months. And because he continues to improve and his medications are consistently being reduced, then they still work with him and they challenge him. He'll come home saying, they're trying to kill me because they increase his reps. I mean, they have 100% confidence that the challenges he still deals with, which are like he's got a bad knee, he limps on the left side, and a little bit less than 100% use of his left hand. But they're confident that they're going to correct all that. And I love this PT firm he's with right now, because they work him to correct the things that need correcting. And he's just doing amazing. He dreamed the other night that he even jogged. He was walking normally and he even jogged. And I said, amen, you're going to do it. So we're just looking forward to how much improvement he can get. That doctor telling him he'd probably never walk again was, I'm sure, his lowest moment. I walked into the rehab room and he was sitting in the wheelchair, just completely slumped over and crying. And we had scripture all over the wall, 8 by 10, all over. Nurses would come in and read everything. It took about half an hour. And he was so sad. And I said, oh, no, you're not going to believe that, guy. We are not going to believe that. We're going to believe what your wall says. So we read everything on there out loud and just, encouraged him that he could. But honestly, I've never known anybody that works so hard and complains less. He never complains. Good thing that wasn't my condition. I'd be whining all the time.
He's such a sweetheart. And I was just sitting here thinking, because, we have so many people who have had big challenges, and, we tell them to increase. When I got started, my husband had a big health challenge, and we were just using the 2 ounces twice a day, like it says on the back of the bottle. Kind of rule followers too. Never dawned on us to drink more. But, the company was really pretty young, and we didn't have the experience we do now. And we did get results. You can get results on 2 ounces twice a day, but it was 6 weeks before we saw anything. Most people don't have the patience. By that point, you're thinking, I really am drinking salt water, and somebody is laughing all the way to the bank on my behalf, but it's not true. This is real. It's not magic. It's physiology. So, but, I'm sitting here thinking, I drink at least 8 ounces a day, sometimes more. But I think just for a short period of time, why not drink a bottle a day? Why not? clean a few things up. I think just revving up we'll get Dr. Lee to talk about this, revving up your NRF2s and your glutathione and all of that, and kind of cleaning out the pipes, if you will, and then go back down to, what I normally take. It's like,
I mean, that's what Dr. Lee talks about in his books is, the variety that causes the cells to respond. A little bit of starvation from sugar is good for us, and a little bit more activity from exercise is good for us to bring us to a place of homeostasis. And doing the same thing all the time is probably not good for us, especially if those habits aren't good. But I know I probably still drink more than I need, but you know what? I feel amazing, and I'm not going to take a chance. I don't ever want to be as sick as I was again, ever. And so if I'm wasting it, okay. I waste it with a happy heart because I know that my body feels good and I can do things. And at my age, I've got a lot to do. We didn't travel or do anything for our entire marriage, really, because early on we were too broke with 2 kids in college. And then I got into midwifery and we never got away. There's always a baby due. So we've done more traveling in the last 2 years. I guess 2 more than 3, but all the trips the company gives us, and then all the things that we've just been able to plan and do with our grandkids and our family that we haven't ever done, and we're having a blast. So yeah, I may drink more than I should, but I don't care. I'm going to do it. I'll take another job if I have to, but I don't think I'm going to.
No, I was just going to say, Chris, definitely we saw improvements, and it was just so neat. One of the first meetings, just seeing his progress. And I'm sure as you increased any of his dosage, you saw, strides and improvements in multiple areas. So I love what Alan says when he first intros a meeting. It's not a vitamin. It's not a CBD oil. It's not any of those, special juices. It's the very molecules God gave us to allow our body to heal itself. So when you introduce this to the girls, and we were just now talking about quantity, did you have them doing the basic? Because, most are probably, 20s to 30s or early 30s in age. So did you have most of them doing a cup in the morning, 2-ounce, cup at night? Is that kind of the routine? And where did you incorporate Renew 28 in the regimen? So quantity and then Renew.
I always recommended that they take 2 ounces twice a day if they had not had any, if they weren't already on it for some reason. A few of my clients that were friends, we had gotten them on it to correct health challenges. And then they got pregnant. So we upped it a little because their body's working harder. So we want to continue to help the health challenge and then give them the support for the pregnancy. But most of the girls started at 2 ounces twice a day and stayed there. If an issue developed during pregnancy, I might have them use as much as 8 ounce. Once I worked them up in maybe 8 ounce to correct the pregnancy issue. But it's a one-on-one thing. Yeah. But if they're healthy and young, and that's the only kind of people I could take is healthy, non-complicated, normal pregnancies. So 2 ounces twice a day is usually fine for them. But the beautiful thing is if they catch a cold, if the family catches the flu, everybody can drink 2 ounces every hour if they want to, just to, get through that issue. And it's not going to hurt a thing, can only help. I believe what Jim told me. This cannot hurt you, it can only help. So I tell everybody the same thing.
That's awesome. So how did you incorporate the Renew 28? I mean, I know all the things that it works.
It was amazing for girls who had stretch marks from previous pregnancies because we've seen it help our skin repair itself. It was wonderful for after they had the baby. If they were nursing, sometimes that causes some discomfort, and the gel is non-toxic, so they could use it. and not have to wash it off before they fed the baby the next time. And then diaper changes for babies if they got a little bit of diaper rash. That was fabulous for that. Some of my moms circumcised their baby boys, and that helped that area heal so fast. A lot of people these days are having their babies' lip and tongue revision done by a dentist with laser. And it's a fabulous procedure because it can make nursing a dream instead of a nightmare. And but when they do that, then they have to exercise the tongue and they have to run their finger up to stretch it. And the same thing with their lip. They have to stretch that frenulum to keep it from reattaching. And it's not comfortable. I mean, it's sore anyway from being lasered. So my dentist wouldn't let me have them use the gel the first 24 hours because if she did, it grew back too fast. It healed too fast. They had to stretch it for at least 24 hours with aloe vera, and then she'd let me have them use the gel, and the babies didn't cry anymore when they stretched. Now, they still don't like having your fingers in their mouth, but it didn't hurt anymore when they used the gel. So many uses. If baby has colic or tummy, they could just rub it on their little tummies or on their spinal column. And I've seen babies that were just drawn up, their little knees drawn up because their tummy hurt. And you rub the gel on it, they just relax. It's so cute. And put it on the bottom of their feet. For some reason, that helps them sleep, but that helps me sleep too. I put it on the bottom of my feet at night. So, I mean, there's just no limit to the gel. If somebody has a stuffy nose, you can put it across their sinuses, or an earache, you can rub it down on their carotid artery and down the back of their ear so those eustachian tubes drain and open up. I mean, it's amazing. It's a 100% effective, efficient first aid for everything.
Well, and the beauty of it is like you said, they can use as much as they need during the 9 months, after the 9 months. Hopefully many of them are still on it for all the needs that mama needs, raising kiddos. And I mean, new mamas would probably love having the Renew in their house in every room, just because there's too many things that come up, and then they're toddlers and they fall and then they get scrapes and bruises and burns and all these things. And so, I mean, for somebody who's not on it yet, and if you look at our pathways, the fertility pathway, I mean, there's reason to be on it if you're not on it. And if you want to get pregnant, I mean, again, we don't make claims, but body can heal itself. And you've got something that you cannot say in nutrition, oh, double, triple this, or double, triple that, or go buy this magic whatever at the store. No, but redox signaling, we know we can give to any mama and be safe. So I appreciate all those tidbits and things you shared. So
okay, I got so many things, and we're getting down. Maureen, we're going to try our best to stop in 10 minutes, but I'm going to state that everything that we're saying, and again, I'm coming in as the non-medical, non-whatever person, but Dr. Osler, this sounds crazy. I mean, from what Donnellyn is saying, from what we know, for the people out there that are looking at this going, you guys are nuts if you think I'm going to believe that something from Salt Lake City made from salt water, and I'm going to drink it or put this stuff on my body's going to start to fix itself. Could you please resolve that? Because there's a lot of skeptics out there. Because again, we're the only company in the world that has it. So anytime you have something like this, which is a breakthrough, going to the market, it's a little bit slow to get it into acceptance. Deal with that. And then I want to come back real quick, as Donnellyn has been the business builder of the year, and I want her to talk about that for a little bit. So Lee, can you kind of resolve that for everyone out there?
Well, I think I got most of your question. My internet's a little unstable tonight, and some of that broke up, but I think you were talking about the method that this came to the market. Is that correct?
Right.
Well, more of it seems like it's the cat's meow. I mean, it works on everything. And how can that be?
The kitty cat.
And the dog.
it always works. You know, we have this mindset sometimes that we think of things like drugs, and if we take aspirin and it might work, it might not work, but I'm going to know in 30 minutes if it does, right? And that's not how cellular health works predictably. Sometimes it takes longer. And so the point is, at a cellular level, at a physiology level, when the cells begin functioning, they're working.
Right.
We may not feel it working right away. It may take a while for us to feel something come of that, just like it takes years after cells stop working for things like, blood pressure or blood sugars or things like that to become noticeable. But it's been that way for a long time because that's just the nature of how cells work. And so the whole point is that our cells are working, in overtime, trillions of times a second. We're making these redox signaling molecules, and that's the mechanism that's designed in the cell for activating cell defenses. If we talk about we want to enhance our immune response, for example, or we want to be stronger to resist catching something or recovering from something, that requires cellular function by definition. And so anytime I do anything that increases my ability or capability to cell signal or to activate these what we call pathway genes that turn on this inner doctor, this inner healer capacity, then it's working. And by definition, it works all the time. And so it's a different mind shift. It's a paradigm shift from the way we come to think of using this, for example, over-the-counter drugs or prescription medications. We just have that, if I know it's going to work because for example, the headache goes away, but that's not cellular health. And so we are a cellular health company. That's what we market is cellular health. And these products that we have enhance those cellular pathways that create the healing process inside. It's an inside out thing.
As with my background as a financial advisor, as a stockbroker, that was one thing I always asked anytime someone presented an investment to me, what could go wrong? And so what you're saying, there really isn't anything, which sounds contra. That's not how we operate. Something can always go wrong, but not here.
Well,
because if you have a detox, that's your body rebalancing back to normal. But so that's not bad. That's actually good, right?
Yeah. If you're detoxing, that's actually a witness that things are working. The fact that you weren't hurting before you detoxed is a witness that you were sequestering or storing your toxic stuff and storing it away, and because your cells aren't working to get rid of it or to eliminate it normally. And that's our detoxification system. When it starts working, all of a sudden it's going to spill over the dam just a little bit and you're going to notice it. And so that's kind of a backhanded way. They call it a backhanded compliment. Maybe, it's like this is a witness that it is working because it's detoxing, and you're just going to have to work your way through that.
Okay, so let's make a real quick shift, Donnellyn, 5 minutes. You have just been awarded the most prestigious thing as an associate that anybody could ever get in this company. There's only been what, Maureen? 14 of them, 13 of them?
Yeah. We've only been around for 14 years, so.
Yeah, so Donnellyn, you're one of them. But this is not something you intended to do. Could you please give these other people out there that are going, I can't do this. I don't want to do this, but are you sort of glad that you did? I mean, how has it changed your life? But what would you say to the other people out there that are just, I'm too old. I can't do this. Can you please give the people out there the hope that we need at this time of the year, with it being the Christmas season, and so many people are hurting financially?
Well, Jim, I mean, something that I really want to get across to everybody is that I can do this. Anybody can. Everyone that's been around since I got in, and everybody's been in longer than me, knows that I could not I couldn't do a PowerPoint. I can barely operate the computer. I call it this dumb machine. And my grandson keeps saying, "Bibi, it's a computer. It's not a machine." So I had so much trouble that first year just trying to figure out, how do I share this like you professionals do? But I still managed because I told my story. You know, everybody has a story, even if they're just sleeping better or their aches and pains went away or their brain fog away. Everybody has a story, and you're going to relate to people that no one else can. So I was not aiming for this unbelievable award. When I hear it, I'm still shocked, and nobody has been as shocked as I was the night I got it. But I was passionate about keeping my promise to God to tell everybody if I got my life back, because y'all, I was on my way out, and it wouldn't have been long. And now I'm so healthy. So it's like I went through all of that dark time to come to this and be able to help other people, and it's my greatest honor. So I just tell people to tell your story. Contact people every day, introduce them, give them a chance. If Jim had not told me about this because I was hiding the situation, I wouldn't have had a chance to get well. And you don't know who's in my position that won't be here next year if you don't have the courage to talk to them. So just talk to everybody. I mean, that's really all I've done. I don't have a secret magic sauce that is, oh, do this. I did figure out a system to do workshops. I do it the same way every time, so it's duplicatable. I try to teach the people on my team how to do that, and they're all amazing. But you know, guys, if we just work together and love each other and help as many people as we can, you can't help but grow a team. You can't keep it from happening. The product is a miracle. And so we're 100% heads above everybody else already, because we've got something that works. So you're telling the truth when you say, you know, this helped my body, see if it'll help yours, you know? So I just don't know how you can fail at this if you want it, because it's not easy. It's net work. It is work. But I mean, how hard is talking to people? How hard is picking up the phone? It's not near as hard as it is to stay up all night, 3 nights in a row, delivering babies. You know, I remember coming home so tired that I was hallucinating, and I was way too old to be doing that, driving, seeing things run across the road that weren't there. I told one of my students once, "You're going to have to drive the rest of the way home. I'm seeing things." So, I mean, this isn't hard. It's just not easy. It's simple. We just talk to people. We just help people. And we've done our job. When we've told them about it, we've done our job. Be kind to them, keep following up, keep checking on them, like Jim did me. And he really was just following up. He wasn't obnoxious. I was the obnoxious one.
No, you
But I
weren't.
just wasn't in a good place.
No, you
So
weren't. But
if we do
Donnellyn,
that, we succeed.
what does your financial future look like from today on?
Well, I was not the sharpest tool in the shed. I guess I thought I was just going to keep delivering babies until the end of time. So we had property that our birth center was on, but that was really the only retirement we had. Now, Chris worked for the fire department for 31 years, so he has a retirement, and it's enough to probably make the house payment and buy gas. But we wouldn't have been doing anything else really. So again, after I began to share with people and I got to the diamond level, that was kind of a shock too. And then the end of that year, 2020, I sold my birth center. I sold the business. I didn't sell my property. And we left, and we didn't know what the next year was going to look like, because I know, you know, with that kind of job, if you don't work, you don't get paid.
Right.
And so there's no 401k, nothing like that. And so we left going, well, we'll see if we can make it. But at the end of the next year, I realized I had made just as much year my first year in retirement, semi-retirement, retirement into a different position, that we had made the last year that I worked. And I worked 15 years building that facility, that business, the clientele, and I spent 300,000 plus doing it. And then with a company that cost me $40 to get into, and I got to help lots of people get their life back, the income didn't change. That's pretty exciting, guys. Pretty exciting. I'm grateful.
It's been a great
And
hour.
Lord knows that we are as well. And if anybody wants to know the key to Donnellyn Dominguez, you just witnessed it. It's her heart. She
Yep.
truly cares.
That's why we love
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
We appreciate.
So, yeah, close out. Sorry.
You're late.
I know
It's been a great hour. Goes by so fast.
My poor little grand dog he's been up here trying to get me to
It's a
take him off.
cutie. I love that face. He's cute.
Adorable.
I
And
know
his
Lee's
wife-
having a hard time.
Lee,
Yeah, Lee's internet.
Lee's
not
internet
good.
is out. So
Yeah.
guys, I just want to, what will this work on? If
everything.
involved to sell, it's going to work. Go to Real Redox
Thanks,
Results.
Kitty.
Yeah, realredoxresults.com, and there's 134. Donnellyn will have 135th, I think. Story will be there. Let's go listen to the stories, and you'll see it works. There's one breakthrough that works on everything. Ann and I will not be here next Friday. We do have Dr. Rich Michael, MD. He will be a phenomenal guest. Next week, we will be taking the following week off with the Christmas break. And so go to redoxmatters.com for the recording. Do not go to Google to get research. Go to asiascience.com. Go to redoxscience.com, a new site, redoxscience.com. And again, ASEA Science, and then again, redoxmatters.com. And don't go to Amazon to purchase ASEA ever. Get back to the person that brought you onto this webinar. Amazon, our company, will never market products through Amazon. Those that do are illegal, and they are stealing your credit cards and buying product and marketing over there. Never buy our products off of Amazon. Maureen or Lee, anything you want to add, or Donnellyn?
No, I'm grateful. Thank you guys for letting me share again. I appreciate all of you so very much. Love all of you.
Thank you, Donnellyn, for being with us tonight.
Fabulous.
Absolutely.
Bye, everybody. Enjoy
Thank you,
the
guys. God
Weekend.
bless.
We'll
See you next.
soon.
Bye.
love you
Next
guys.
Friday.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.